person. Basically, everything is about the binomio between Campari and Vermouth since the beginning in the 18th century, because the marriage of these two products is incredible. Negroni is made by two Italian products very well known in the world. Pari, who knows, 20, 30 botanicals, Vermouth, I think almost the same. We are talking about the perfect cocktail.
Benvenuti a Ciao Bella. I'm your host, Erica Firpo. For the past 20 years, I've made my home in Rome, where I've worked as a journalist contributing to publications including Afar, Washington Post, Lonely Planet, and Travel and Leisure. I love sharing the stories of Italy's pioneering creators, and I'm bringing these stories directly to you on Ciao Bella. Every week, I'm joined by contemporary artists, heritage artisans, designers, culinary experts, innovative aesthetes, and more. At the crossroads of evolution and tradition, the past and the future, they are working and creating to define and redefine 21st century Italy. Join me as we see Italy through their eyes. Whenever I visit Milan, my favorite time of day is any time I stop by Camparino and Galleria, Campari's historic bar, a city landmark, and number 85 on the world's best bar list. And for good reason. Camparino has held court at the Galleria since its 1915 opening as the place for a Campari Seltz, Campari and soda, and of course a Negroni. This past November, Camparino opened Sala Gaspare, a subterranean privé lounge that pays homage to Gaspare Campari, founder of the brand. I grabbed a drink, or maybe a few, with Tommaso Cecca, Campari's head of mixology, to talk about the legend and allure of Camparino.
When you have time, when you can express yourself in a right place like this, and the magic happens. The dream is, to could make these kind of things every day. Economics and specific in Italy, it's quite tough, but we have the beautiful support of the company. This is, the flagship of the company, the place where Gaspare Campari was making the product, where Davide created, the culture of aperitivo, opening the bar in 1915. Everything happened in here. Also a couple of revolutions. We faced war and many things.
What were you saying last night this space was used for? You said, I remember last night, was this was where they were making the you did say there was like two holes and the seltz would go through, I think, the seltzer?
Exactly. In the 1915, the Campanino was the first bar with the sparkling water direct from the cellar into the bar. And believe me, the 1915 was such an immense, great innovation, and the way to making cocktails at that time was different. Now we have cocktails with 6, 7 ingredients. The way to make cocktail there is 1, 2, maximum 3 ingredients. In Italy, drinking cocktail in the 1915 for the Italians, the locals, was such an innovative thing, and Campari was the perfect product.
Well, I think, just having taken the tour of the Galleria, seeing everything that Davide did as an entrepreneur, because you were saying Gaspare was the alchemist, it makes sense that he would come up with a bar concept that was extremely avant-garde for the time.
In the 1860, Gaspare Campari moved from Novara in Milan, and he opened his first bar, where we don't have pictures or other things, in the middle of the square. You have to imagine, in the 1860, the square was occupied by a huge building called Coperto dei Figini. Yes, and the Galleria doesn't exist. At that time, the King Vittorio Emanuele decided to, destroy the building and to open the square. At the same time, he started building the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele, which, if you think the size of the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele, it's quite immense. And they, from the first stone until the opening, was complete in the opening in the 1867, but they opened the first, second, and third floor, I think. 7 years to build all this, huge cross, because the side, the shape is like a cross.
Yeah.
And of course, to valorize the cathedral, you need an open square, and then all the services in the Galleria. So basically, Gaspare Campari and all the artisans there in the basement, in the ground floor of this building, they have the concession to open in the Galleria. They move basically all these, suit maker, hat makers, bars, restaurant from the old Coperto di Figini built into the Galleria. That was the kick-off, basically. The first bar in 1867, opened by Davide Campari, was in the opposite corner where today we are in Campari.
Ah, okay.
That was called Caffè Campari. Basically, the size is the same of today, so quite big. Pastry, coffee bar,
Like a place to
restaurant,
sit. Yeah.
a bit of everything. And in these years where Gaspare was without a bar, without a place, he travels a lot, and he discovered many new things in making the Parfumier Academy in Grasse, or visiting Amsterdam and
Oh,
Netherlands.
wow.
And travel at that time means stay away 1 year.
Right.
It's not like today, 2 hours you are everywhere in Europe. All this knowledge with the sophistication of Gaspare palate and the F make the biggest bar bottigliera for that time. Bar bottigliera means a kind of artisan liquor store. He made the liquors. Probably in Galleria.
Yeah,
they show you-
like Cremate and
Yeah,
those
exactly.
those
You
beautiful,
start making
like the Ginepro and things like
Juniper or liqueur de banane, cassis.
Right.
A bit of influence from France, quite big influence from France. That was the time of exotico. If you have a banana cask at home, you are doing some special things, passion fruit, berries from all around the world. Italy was the center, Venezia, Genova. There was two big ports in the Mediterranean, but I think from many years before, since the time of Marco Polo. And they start exchanging things from Italy and the rest of the world. The exotico time was exactly at the end of 1980. In all these liqueurs, there was a bitter, a liqueur made with secret recipe, and as I explain always, technically talking, is an infusion in alcohol of herbal and spices, the secret recipe, mostly orange, because you feel the orange flavor, respect the other, but it's secret. Who knows how many difference there are, who knows how long it takes the infusion, but there is in alcohol. After that, it is, we had the typical Campari red color, and the Gaspare decided to find the perfect ABV content, which was 25. Davide Campari was the first Milanese to born in Galleria.
That's what I heard. He was born upstairs.
Exactly. It was born upstairs in the same opening year of the Galleria, in the 1867, the 14th November. Few years late, Gaspare was quite old at that time, in the end of 18, and he started, driving the Campari company, which was basically a bar at that time, and he recognized bitter Campari as the best, the unique.
Because at that time there was still, like you were saying, there was all the different bottles of, there was like the cassis and banan and all of that. And he saw bitter as like,
Exactly. For the philosophy of Gaspare, was easier make product in house than buy something from all around the world for shipment reason, from and we are Italians are really creative, and we have this knowledge in food, in making some process, in transformation, because if you think other products we have in Italy unique, like aceto balsamico, parmigiano reggiano, someone start from something, it's not created from, and basically we have this beautiful this intuition for something in transforming the food, or Gaspare was a genius, Davide was the entrepreneur. The product is there, and he understands the potential behind it, and he started making the first cocktails. Campari Cells was the perfect, combination between bitter Campari and soda water.
that was that beautiful cocktail we had when we came in
Yeah,
last
the
night.
tallest.
With the foamy and
Yeah, yeah. And look, the foam, is not created pouring from the bottle water. It was created spraying, with pressure, with the cells water. It comes, the magic. You could do also with simple sparkling water, but the result is not the same. The shape of the glass, designed by Davide Campari, very, stand.
long, narrow.
Yeah, long. It helps to create the foam when you spray the right pressure of water. The proportion is very easy: 1 part of Campari, 2 part of soda water. And there is a beautiful manifesto artwork of Marcello Nizzoli, from 1928, I think, 29, who represent the perfect serve of Campari Cells. One product, that's it. Technique: spraying water. This is the
Simplicity.
start, the simplicity and the start of everything.
Yeah.
The people recognize this gastronomy flavory cocktail, because you can smell the Campari flavor from the bubble. Was so avant-garde for that time, and this start everything. Basically Camparino, and in this one you can see how Davide Campari was an entrepreneur, because he opened the Camparino, calling the best artist for that time, the mosaicist Angiolo D'Andrea, the ebanist Eugenio Quarti, the sculpturist from the Chandelier, which we have the both one, that are under the control of the City Hall art department. You can touch anything. The picture of the bar there, that 25 square meter, is a piece of Liberty style art. It remained the last one, original, in the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele. And Campari, helps a lot to, maintain this one in 2017, when we decide to buy again the bar. And it's the place where historically the father, the grandfather, they come with the child, most of our customer, like me, 40, 50, they come in Camparino since when they are young, with the grandfather, after, some beautiful foot walk in the city center, and the grandfather was there to drink, the traditional Camparino at 6 p.m. And they remember that I was here with my grandfather. It's beautiful to see everything is the
Generational.
same. And yes, and the democracy, because the counter, the bar di passo we call, we you can walk in there with two step, and I think in there we are serving beautiful cocktails in a good price to drink standard quick, and it's a ritual. The ritual of aperitivo, basically, I think it started in that corner in Camparino in 1920, 1930, 1940. At that time, also now, we love the square. To leave the square there, no phone, no TV, no fridge at that time. The only thing you have is, we meet in Camparino for an aperitivo. We spend a couple of hours talking, making sociality, new things. Many artists try to represent, there is a beautiful painting called Rissa in Galleria.
Rissa in Galleria,
Rissa in
that's
Galleria.
like the Rissa. The word's not coming to my mind. It's like not a fight,
It's a
but
mass
yes,
fight,
yeah.
Who is a futurist? It's a beautiful futurist impression of art of that time. It represents, the moment of Milan in that era. All the star of that time, no Hollywood, but the theater, the premier, the dancers, the tenors, the maestri are visiting Camparino before, after, and was quite a very important place to have a meeting, to have a chat with the community of that time. Milan was very little, respect today. Today is little. We are 1.5 million, respect other cities. We are very small, but at that time I don't think there are more than 100,000.
It was tiny.
Yeah, super tiny. This was the first step, basically. With Camparino and Davide Campari, everything changed. When they start to sell product to other bars and to enlarge the culture of cocktails. A few years late, in 1919, the Conte Negroni invent the mix of three ingredients in Firenze, and Campari was already there in the shelf of Art Café in Firenze. So in 1927, in Paris, they create the Boulevard des Cocktails, and Bitter Campari was there.
What's in the Boulevard? What?
Bourbon whiskey, Campari, and vermouth, red vermouth. So all these historically things are, if you connect these historical things, you can start making in the beautiful cocktail tree we have during the timeline of first part of 19th century. After that, what's happened? Basically, modern times, more and more cocktails are part of our culture, and the art of making a little coupette with Campari and vermouth, like Milano Torino is another famous cocktail we have. So the aperitivo culture after the Second War, it explodes in Milan, in the northern Italy, and then after also in the south. We start to contaminate other countries, US first, France, the closest countries, and Camparino is still there, working very well, being the place to be for the most important moment of the city, Expo and other things. This is basically the heritage we have, the storytelling behind this 160 years of history.
Hey there, it's pretty obvious that I love Rome and everywhere in Italy. So I'm excited to share that I've compiled all of my favorite places where to go, eat, see, and stay into the coolest, easy-to-use guides for Saltite. Saltite is a lineup of curated personal guides by expert journalists and travel writers like myself. My guides, Rome with Ciao Bella and Venice with Ciao Bella, are the very best on-the-ground resources for the Eternal City and La Serenissima. Every place that I love and repeat visit, from restaurants, bars, and boutiques, to art galleries, archaeo sites, hotels, and more are included. My guides are everything you need for Rome and Venice, and they are always up to date. The best part is that they support writers like me. Along with my guides, Saltite has great guides to Lisbon, Paris, Bologna, Philadelphia, and my favorite, Little Italy in the Bronx, by Ciao Bella guest Daniele Oteri. So visit Saltite and support a writer. It'll make you feel good. Saltite.com. SALTETE.com.
Something you said earlier when we walked in here, because I want everyone to understand where we are. We're not just in Camparino, we're below Camparino.
Yeah, in the 19, we reopen again after a refurbishment, quite important refurbishment. Before that was only the Bar di Passo, the ground floor. We want to imagine different moment for Camparino. We want to take not only the classic part and the typical Italian bar, which I think Camparino is the most magnificent representation, but we want to look also into the future. Basically, the Sala Spiritello on the first floor is the exercise we are making and we are developing in the last 3-4 years. So we are young in that. Under the name of the artwork in the entrance. So everything starts from a story and everything is super aligned with art, and all the things are so since the beginning. That is a beautiful manifesto. Represents the joy, the color, the liberty, the moment, this Joker with blue hair.
At the Spiritello,
Dancing in a zest of orange is a little bit crazy, and that one represents the reality. So there we want to start a new point of view on the mixology, on the hospitality, talking about, the journey, for example. The Bar di Passo, the ground floor is open since the morning at 9:30 until 11:30. So it's all day bar. It's the representation of Italian bar. You can drink an espresso, you have a breakfast, an aperitif at lunch, you can do lunch there. Also in the afternoon again, espresso, tea, someone continue cocktail, because the logistic where we are very lucky. We are an independent bar in downtown, in the heart of downtown. So I understand. So we work every day. So so we are working, but the 10%, 20% of the visitors in downtown are not working. They are in holidays. They are here to see the city. They are free to have an aperitif in the morning and to take a lunch in Camparino. That's why it's unusual, but our customers are drinking more than we are selling more than 200 cocktails only for lunch.
Wow, that's a lot of cocktails.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about this space that we're in, because when we walked in here, one of the things, well, first of all, I think it would be great just to tell everyone what the space is called, what this space is for. And I really loved it. The first thing you said to me was that every recipe has a story, or there's a story in every recipe, is how you said it. And it was, we're in this gorgeous underground area that's been refurbished, you said, starting in 2019. And it's kind of like, would you call it an exclusive bar? What would you call this space?
Sala Gaspari Campari. Under the name of the eternal founder of everything, the product and every process behind the recipe. Basically, we want to represent this tiny space for selected, connoisseurs and friends of Campari, guests want to do some exclusive experience and to do an immersive experience in the cocktail world.
You said that the menu here. Last night we were talking about the menu, and I found it fascinating. You said it was 3 chapters.
3 chapters. The Gaspare Campari life. The study. It starts, from books, informations, and all the materials we can reach from the story, and we have quite more than 600 books
I know, it's
since
amazing.
1870 until 1915. More than 20,000 different recipe, sometimes replicated, but with a twist. It depends of the bartender, of the publication of the books, if it's American or European, French or Italian. There is a word behind, and that word, it's incredible. That word is made just from cocktail by bottles. There is no sophistication in the cocktails. Mixing bottles and ingredients already made, which is the base of everything. Sometimes we find recipe with 3, 4 bottles, direct in, which are very unique and different. So I think today is we work on product fresh. We try to make homemade fermentation, distillation. We try to sophistify everything. But there was so simple, and trying to mix like a cold ingredients and making something new always. Probably the technique, also the different glasses and the type of ice. Everything is coming from the heritage book. I think it's part of study, and Gaspare Campari. Today Campari as a recipe is unique. No one's are close us in terms of flavor profile, balance and perfection, and that's why I think Gaspare Campari study a lot before making this magic. And the study is, an exercise making cocktail from the book every month different, and exchanging ideas and opinions with the guests, and try to find a way to continue to study on that. That's why 20,000 recipe, probably I don't have the time to see all that.
That's a lot of recipes.
Yes. But we have to start from something. Innovation is the chapter in the middle. And Gaspare for sure spent months and months, years to try to make his cocktail, his liquids, his liqueurs in a different way, because I'm pretty sure before the perfect and the very well defined recipe of Campari, there was, probably 7, 8, 9, 10 years of work behind. We want to try to mix not only bottles, liqueurs and spirit, but also some homemade products, something we do freshly made in Camparino. And this is the chapter including the innovation, because new ingredients, new techniques, and when you try to mix together these things, sometimes comes new flavors, sometimes good, sometimes no. We work on it every day. We try new cocktails and new balances, but I think it's the most complicated things, because doing new is something for the future, and we are based on the present. But what we like is the cocktail is there, and when you drink, it's delicious. In the end, so heritage books, innovation technique, and heritage liquids, vintage spirits. Sometimes friends or colleagues are asking, "Oh, what is the new trend for you? what you think about it. I said the COVID time explained us many things. The little cocktail we start making in the few years ago is the good explanation. It so
Oh, the small bottle
yes,
casks.
the casks.
And I love how they're called cask tails.
Say yeah, it's a beautiful name.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, it's a bottled story, like you were
Yeah.
saying.
And with that we explore new things. Not only new flavors. This flavor, this liquids needs to be there for such a long time, and you need to be able to preserve these things. And in the middle, something born. And this new flavor, for example, in the batch cocktail we had, are quite similar to the vintage Negroni, with the Campari from 70s, with the Vermouth Cinzano from 60s. We had, and you are drinking 50 years of Campari, 50 years of Vermouth, 40 years of gin. You are drinking 140 years of essence. And like in the wine, when you are opening 1950 bottles, there was different weather, there was different terroir, and as in the liquids in the Campari, there was different alcohol, there was different botanicals. Also the color was different because it was made by other product. I think this is part of the emotion. We have to try something from that time. Also in the food industry, today you can try Parmigiano of 24 months, but also 6 years.
Yeah.
And the same materials and the same milk, it change a lot nell'affinamento.
The refinement. Yeah.
What I can say, you like the Negroni, the last one?
Oh, last night I loved it. It was, it's funny. Sandra, our colleagues, she said, she put it really well because she said it didn't have any edges. It's the way it was delicious. I felt it was so smooth, and I'm not a Negroni person. I loved
It's
it.
so smooth but not dusty.
No. It was
Super
like,
fresh.
yes, it was
This
perfect.
is incredible.
Now I have a question for you because Camparino is number 85 in the world's best bars. What does it take? It's amazing.
But this is part of new world. I try to split our contemporary work in three parts. There are general competencies, to manage a company. There are specific competence to making customer happy, and today there is also the communication. And we are very, very quickly in this. We are making cocktail in Milan and promoting, and they are, quickly viewed from US guests, and they start to making at home or asking in New York in the favorite bar, and this change a lot. Be recognized globally is very important for us, but it's part of the game. I can say our industry and bars in general today are stronger than ever. Of course, there is a winner every year. There is 50 best, there is 100 best, but spend time together, exchange opinions, and making something new is the purpose. Of course, it's changing the perception of the customers. Being a best bar, I think for contemporary customer is a value. Is a value. It's made from many things. For sure, the quality product, the service, the location. The people are surround you. The moment when you are making the reservation or not. It's a very food and beverage. Hospitality is a very sophisticated thing in this moment, and is growing higher every year. New concepts are coming, not only everywhere in the world, from US, in the Central Europe, in Asia, for example. Asia is incredible for quality and quantity in the last decades, but at the same time it's very little. I think we are no more than 500 bartenders. We know each other.
You guys are all friends.
Yeah, we are basically all friends, and we are working in different contexts. We are from 120 different countries. It's beautiful because some Indian bartenders are writing you on Instagram because they want to know how you make the proper Campari sales or Negroni, or they are asking for where do you buy these glasses, and it's very open, and this is so important thanks to 50 Best Bar, which is they do an amazing job, and thanks to the bartenders and the bars are in. No, it's very important. It's an achievement.
But you know what I think is pretty cool? I think what's really neat is that it's a bar di passo. It's not, so I think that is a totally different mentality than most other bars that, yes, there's the Spiritello where you can go and sit upstairs, but I think it's really cool that this historic old school style bar has that pull and it has that consistency. I think that's one of the, I've been coming to Campanino for a really long time.
That's why.
I think the consistency is amazing, and I think it's the history. It's such a generational bar, like you were saying.
Oh, this is the fact. We have 3 different outlets. The Bar di Passo is very complex. It's fully speed. You are surrounded from the vibe of the city every day since the morning. The people are super energizing. They are running because we have this. The Milanese are.
They work.
They work quite tough. It's like New York.
Yeah.
You have this.
It's not Rome.
No. Or Sicily.
Oh no.
Exactly, and there is an energy. There is always tension and the people, but doesn't mean which this customer are less attentive. They pay less attention.
No, exactly.
Than the others. They are more attentive.
Yeah.
Because they don't have time. They are super concentrated all day.
Yeah, they can't mess up.
Exactly. That's why that is the most difficult exercise. It takes a lot of effort every day and 362 days per year.
Oh, so what? Christmas Day?
Christmas, 15 August, and the
Wow.
New Year's Eve.
Just those 3 days.
That's it. And but I think it's beautiful service in the door of the city, in front of the cathedral.
Yeah.
No, I can't imagine in
I don't. There's any place quite like that.
Place, in this moment.
So I have another question for you. What, Davide, is your favorite drink with Campari? Your favorite cocktail?
From Davide Campari.
From just any. If you were to say, I want to make myself a cocktail with Campari.
Okay.
Like, what do you like?
No.
What do you get at the bar?
I'm honest. I'm a Negroni.
You're a Negroni guy?
Yes, I'm a Negroni person. Basically, everything is about the binomio between Campari and Vermouth since the beginning in the 18th century, because the marriage of these two products is incredible. Negroni is made by 2 Italian products very well known in the world, and basically Campari, who knows, 20, 30 botanicals, Vermouth, I think almost the same, a little bit less, 18, 20 botanicals, and the contemporary gin today, 5, 6, 7, 8 botanicals. So we are talking about the perfect cocktail. That's why it's the number 1 cocktail, the best-selling cocktail in the last 3 years in a row. 2 products are Italian, we have to be honest, and they are so unique. And they are so unique. And in the balance, there is everything. There is the naturally part of the wine. There is the Artemisia, which is something very particular. There are many botanica. This is the bitters part, the sweetest part. There is a lot of things are making umami the Negroni. And, as you know, changing the vermouth a little bit, or the gin, or adding something new. don't forget the Campari, because there is no Negroni without Campari. But modifying the recipe, you could make many different other cocktails with the same DNA of the Negroni. It is very simple at home, but it's very often made in bars. I think this is the real reason of the success, the Negroni success. Anyhow, I'm a Negroni person, but I really love simple things. For example, also the Campari Shakerato, which is another one product technique
Is it
cocktail.
just Campari?
Just to shake. That's
Huh.
it. And we redefined the recipe for the perfection, for the perfectionist service. We do two different shaking time. First with ice, and the second without. Just with the little flakes in here, remain from the ice cube. And then when the little flakes are broken, you have the perfect foam, creamy Campari Shakerato, very cold.
Wow.
Yeah, and you can understand the product. You can talk with the product. You have the essence of aperitivo. You have the most open orangey flavor. There is the bitter. There is the sweet. There is everything. You don't need to other thing. There is no other product with one thing perfect umami cocktail. And if we want to go around techniques, I make the differentiation talking about cocktail. There is one product cocktail like Campari Shakerato, like Campari Seltz, and this case is unique because I don't know other cocktails made by one product.
Yeah. I can't really think.
No. And the second is the two product cocktail technique. You know, Campari and vermouth is an example, or gin and vermouth. There is the Negroni. There are three different steps of flavors, and there are three different techniques, and the result is, you know, quite different in between. One dimension could be the Campari Shakerato, and you could drink that, you know, often. You never be tired to drink because it's very simple. It's direct. It's, you know, monodirectional. We start talking about bidimensional cocktail when we start with two ingredients, Campari and vermouth, and the Negroni. We could say it's a three-dimension. Sophistication in your mouth for expert palates. You know, they recognize complexity after three ingredients. So we go on, you know, pro level, and there are other things to explore for sure. More than three dimensions, 5, 6 ingredients could make, you know, other experience. But it start doing difficult because, you know, after that, you know, do a mistake is easy.
Yeah.
That's why professional in here, like Stefano, like the team, are trained to work on it. Every 3 months we meet together. We are 12 bartenders.
Here there are 12.
Yeah, 12.
Wow.
Yeah, because there is the
Are there some-
informations, you know, the bar is open every day.
And so are some of them, I heard some of the bartenders are pretty historic as well.
Yes, for example, you have Gianni, 28 years.
Wow.
Yes. He started working in the 90s. 95.
Wow. So he's really kind of seen the evolution as well.
The evolution of the society in general.
Yeah.
He's very happy because, you know, in the 19, he finally see the big change, and, you know, the modernities come, and with cocktails, and not only, also with human part. You know, we try to take time for ourselves, but together out of the Camparino, and now we are very good friends. But every 2-3 months we start making new menus, talking and making recipe for the new menus, and all the bartenders are coming with 2 recipes. Basically, we choose one of the two for the new menu. And this is very important to engage the entire team for the cocktail menu, and the output is made by Camparino team. There is not one person.
Right.
And usually our word, the bartenders, like the chef, is a little bit egoist in these terms. They want to be there. But for, for the longevity, for the, the team achievement, for the mental health, it's always better to work together. And they are very proud to be involved in this process. And they have their own cocktail in the menu of Campari.
That's pretty cool.
And sometimes we take decision together in terms of flavor profile. When we have dubbed on it, we start making, okay, who vote for the flavor profile more in tobacco than cherry? Usually we are aligned with 80-90% of the voters. It is very important because it reflects the Camparino culture. It can reflect one person culture, because if one day that person go away or change ideas, you lose the consistency, which is the most important.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this.
Yeah.
And thanks for that Negroni last night. You're a great storyteller.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. So are we gonna drink
It's
something?
part of my job.
I know. That's why you're the man to talk to. So do we get to drink something now that we've been talking?
Yeah. We move upstairs where Stefano it will serve you new cocktails.
Okay. Because now I'm thirsty.
I bet.
In the last few years, in US,
Right.
Mezcal Negroni, Tequila Negroni, whatever it is. Basically, I'm a Negroni lover and I like Mezcal Negroni, but there was something not perfect. A little bit unbalanced, because the Mezcal fight with Campari a little bit. And the result is unbalanced in the aftertaste, the volatile of the mezcal was very strong. And they said, why we don't work on it, adding some ingredients, and we find this beautiful balance in the compadre recipe, where there is mezcal, Campari, and vermouth, red vermouth, del vermouth del Professore Rosso. And then we add touch of agave syrup and a touch of Chinotto liqueur.
Ah.
The Chinotto liqueur is the typical citrusy from the Riviera. It's close here, 200 kilometers on the sea. And the cocktail change completely, and you feel comfortable. You don't feel strongness of the mezcal, extremely smoky. It's smoky, but it's
I'm
Yeah.
looking. So it's the compadre. I can't wait
the
to try
compadre,
that.
the compadre. And this is the best-selling cocktail we have in the signature. And the curious thing is made only by bottle. No special prep or other things. In the way we talk, new classico. So new classical. It's possible to do some new cocktail with bottles. And there is others, for example, the L'Ora del Bitter, which is another winner of the last few menus.
What's it called?
L'Ora del Bitter, time of bitter.
Okay, L'Ora del Bitter. Okay.
That means, L'Ora del Bitter is basically a Negroni with the same ingredient. It reflects a lot of our philosophy. But one part of this Negroni, because Negroni is one part, is made by the distilled Negroni. So we take the three ingredients in alembic and we redistill.
Ah.
Because you can distill everything. Basically, the output, the result is a white spirit with the essence of all the 50 botanicals you can find in a Negroni. And it's incredible. It's white, of course, it's foolproof. It's more than 70 ABV, but you can feel the Negroni flavor and the essence. You can drink alone, of course, because it's quite strong. And then the second part is the reduced and the concentration of Negroni, as we talk, is basically Campari vermouth and gin reducted with some botanical and spices. And the third part is Classico, so simple Campari, gin, and vermouth e Professore Rosso. These three ingredients together, low ABV of the reduction, the full proof of the distilled one, and the Classico to balance everything, it makes a new Negroni with the same ingredient. We can try both.
Okay.
And of course we have the seasonal cocktails. Stephanie works a lot on fresh products like tomato water. So we do, the last menu is essence, basically. You have the aneto, you have the main ingredient flavor is on the name. And then we find combination in spirits and of course mostly Campari.
This is the menu for upstairs. Spiritello.
Yes.
Oh, I want to take a look. I can't wait. Let's do it.
We go?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for being here. A shop and trying to invent something new is part of my soul. I want to be connected with the city. I want to be connected with the story and all these things. The previous place was an historic building. Where you can see the Piazza della Scala. This is the theater. On the left side is the Lusardi building. Mm-hmm. There was very modern, not historics. But this was a beautiful bar made by an architect, the Turinese architect, and a beautiful restaurant on the first floor with another little privé, also smokers. And then we have cigars, spirits, incredible.
Thanks to Tommaso, Campari, and Camparino and Galleria for making this episode happen. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Ciao Bella. The editor of Ciao Bella is Mastro. Production manager is Jenna Spray. If you're new to Ciao Bella, take a peek at ciaobella.co, our all-encompassing Italy-focused website, where you'll find insider insight on contemporary Italy, and sign up for our newsletter for new episodes and articles. Follow me on Instagram at Erica Firpo, and follow Ciao Bella on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you like to listen. Leave us a rating or comment. Ciao, ciao!